Welcome to the Mike on Much podcast. I am your host, Mike Veerman. I'm here with my friend and trusted producer, Max Kerman, and our pop culture aficionado,
Shaney boy.
We are going to be honest with you right now. We just did one of these, but it was low energy.
We weren't happy with it.
So now we just sort of injected some Red Bull into our veins. And we're doing it again.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
So we have been at Coachella for a couple days now. Lots has happened. It's an amazing festival. We'll get a bit into that. Top Man hooked us up with some sweet threads.
Shout out to the sponsor, Top Man.
But one of the funny things that comes along with that is we ended up going on like a photo shoot, like we're like models or something.
Which was pretty cool, I must admit. Because you know the thing is, we live in this Instagram generation, and nobody likes anything more than just cool photos of themselves. So we had this very cool photographer from New York, Rob Loud, kind of guiding us around the desert, around this pool, taking photos. And then we got to look at a bunch. And I like whenever there's a group of people looking at photos, you only look at the one of yourself. You're like, oh, that's amazing.
Well, there was
and then someone else will have their eyes closed and look like shit.
Rob was letting us the photographer was letting us proof the photos. So you go through them and go, hey, if you like it, hit the star button and then I'll know to pare it down. So all three of us are looking and it's like we get to a photo and Max will be like. And I'm like, wait, he clearly didn't look at me or Shane. He likes the way he looks, but we look. But everybody does it. But I look at all three. Shane, do you only look at yourself?
Well, I know you guys are more particular on that sort of thing, so I don't want to add one more thing to make it harder.
Right.
So I just let you guys pick.
Team player,
and of
man.
course, I always look horrible in the photo that gets posted. I'm just resigned to the fact that that's what's going to happen.
But you only have one look anyway. Show the camera your look. That's it. That's the Shaney boy.
Because, something's wrong with my face where I can't do expressions or have any real control over it.
Wait, what are you talking about? Give me a smile.
Wait, I'll show you my smile. Honestly, this is my real smile. So
Nick does that in the Arkells as well.
But I'm not trying to be funny with it. And the photographer's like, "Quit mugging me, man. Show me those pearly whites."
Where's this photographer from?
We're trying to be high energy, Mike.
Just let me some skin, my brother. Give me a 5.
Be cool, baby. But he asked me to smile once, and then he never asked me to smile again. So he just got used to. He saw what I see, which is the mean mugging face is actually the best.
Is the best face
for
you.
Photos. But he said we look like the Backstreet Boys.
And then you said current age.
Yeah, and then he said yes.
We look like the 40-year-old Backstreet Boys, but we will take it. We talk a lot on the pod about our friends in the Champagne Boys
who are sharing this estate show.
Show them a bit.
A Champagne boy is filming this thing for us, and this is the estate we're in.
But the state we're in is a little rough right now. You don't have to do a full tour.
That's our friend Sarah Bobus. Wave to the camera. And there's Ashley, Arkells manager Ashley. There she is, doing work. And we've actually kind of hit a little bit of a wall today because we're going to
I think that's the third time you've said that.
Yeah.
You're really pushing that narrative.
Well, okay, but we're going to tell you why. And that's
Phones are dropping like flies in Coachella, let's face it.
Yeah, so Mike is already...
I'm not going to lie. I had my phone in my bathing suit pocket, and I jumped into the pool like a fool. Sat there hanging out, chatting for a good 5 minutes, and then realized it was in my pocket, had an immediate panic, and it is now sitting in a bag of rice over there in a chair.
Kristen, another producer on the show who's down here with us, she got her phone either stolen.
It was stolen for sure.
It was stolen at Coachella. And the Nut's phone stopped working altogether. And he was trapped at Coachella last night till about 1 in the morning. He couldn't get off because he was with Kristen only, and
neither of them had functional phones. They couldn't get an Uber. Speaking of the Nut, though, so Max hooked us up generously through his connections with these sweet wristbands so that we get into all this access area. But I guess the Nut only got VIP, but not artist status.
So that's actually a good place to start because that was Friday. So
it's kind of the beginning of our journey.
So let's start. So after we recorded that first pod that's available on YouTube, we all kind of made our way separately to the Coachella site, and we're all trying to meet up in this area called the Rose Garden, which is sort of a VIP bar. There's lots of food vendors just to meet up there and kind of take in Radiohead from a distance. Everybody made it but the Nut and Dan, because the Nut was circling Coachella for about 3 hours, demanding that somebody offer him an artist wristband.
Yeah, like the VIP wasn't good enough for him.
So eventually, by the time he got there, we were all ready to leave.
Literally, the second we saw him, we said, "Okay, let's go."
Let's
like literally like back home. Let's go.
Speaking of the nut, you were saying in the first time we were talking that you tried to have a call with your wife late at night.
Yeah, like I think your guys' significant others are taking this trip a lot better than my wife because she's a bit of a party animal, so she wanted to be down here just for the party aspect, and two, I guess I have a reputation of being a former party animal that she thinks I still am a real wild child, but I'm kind of the most boring champagne boy of the bunch. Like I'm the most lethargic. I go to bed the earliest, and it's very hard for me in my older age to get drunk for some reason. But she's very concerned that I'm out raging like the nut might be, but I'm not. So she was sending me message after message after message, like, "Call me now. Why aren't you calling me?" All this. So when I get to bed, I called her, and I'm like, "Oh, she's gonna be so impressed that I'm dead sober." I'm like, "Hello, babe. How's it going?"
Like a business call.
Yeah, and I am like,
"Hello,
I've
my
had,
darling."
Like 5 drinks, but I can still I'm still pretty much sober. And she's like, and she's up at 6 a.m. at this point because it's like 2 or 3 here, which means it's 5 or 6 a.m. there. She's like, "I've been up. My anxiety's going nuts. I'm just wondering what you guys are doing over there." I'm like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Nothing's going on. This is a work trip. Keep in mind." And I'm kind of being stern with her. I'm like, "This isn't for fun. We're like working our
We have
asses
been working
off."
very hard.
It has been
Yeah.
busy.
And then all of a sudden, there's a chant going on. They're like, "One more dog, one more dog." Because what I'm not telling her, and I'm embarrassed to tell her, is that the nut is seeing how many hot dogs he can deep throat.
He's shirtless in the he's shirtless in the kitchen.
And the Champagne Boys thought 3 dogs was the maximum, but apparently he can fit 4 dogs in there. As you will see, I'll put it up on the Insta story if you guys think that's okay.
I don't know if he'll let us, but
Yeah, I think it's a
That'll
good
be
idea.
fine.
yeah. But yeah, so that was going down.
And so did she believe you when you explained that
I
it
was just
hot
like,
dog
"Oh man,
eating?
I'm tired. I gotta wake up tomorrow." And she's like, "Wait," and then I just hung up. Honestly, and then I got a litany of messages the next day. But yeah, she's not taking it well.
Okay.
Okay. Have you mended fences a little bit since then?
Not really. It's just hard. Like I don't know. I'm not a big messenger type of guy as it is, so she always
Right.
assumes the worst.
Sure.
I just always tell her like, "No, I'm not doing anything. I'm not drunk. I'm being cool," which I have been, right?
You've been very
You've been
cool.
great.
In fact, you took a nap on the Arkells tour bus.
Well, you were looking kind of out of it. Like,
Yeah.
is this a remnants of your food poisoning? Like that, your
Yeah, I had
energy's
food
a little.
poisoning when I came down, and I'm more out of shape now than probably I was in the past when I used to party. So if you've seen the movie Get Out, I go into a place called the sunken place from the movie, where I'm just like very quiet and in my own head, and I'm lethargic, and I kind of need to rest and be not around people. So Max let me stay in the bunk of his tour bus, which is kind of a thing I've always wanted to do, just out of curiosity. I want to see what it's like in there. But I get.
We all have dreams.
Yeah.
and this weekend you accomplished one.
I don't want to be a rock star. I want to be in a rock star's tour bus in the bunk. But so while you guys went off, I got to stay in your sleeping quarters.
Yeah.
I guess we'll call it. And instantly I'm like, or I'm like, shoot. What am I going to do when these guys are lost in the sea of Coachella people? Like, how am I going to hook up with them? Even if you're texting, it's impossible to find people
Yeah.
here. So I started having a little panic. I'm like, whatever, I'll watch some basketball. But then a bunch of girls start coming in the bus, and there's guys and noises, and it's like, babe. And, like, you guys are, like, all, like, very... not nerds, but you're like you're not like the typical rock stars, but I'm like, maybe one of the guys in the band is having an affair and having groupies, and I'm gonna bust them accidentally. It's like, get over here, babe. So I'm like, I have to wait for them to finish having sex, then leave, and then it's gonna be 4 hours or whatever. Turns out it was
Anthony's wife, Scarlett.
I didn't know they toured with the wives.
And well, no, they've come down this weekend, and also Sarah, Tim's fiance, is pregnant too. So it's like the least rock and roll scene.
Exactly, but I didn't know that when I was in the bunk, so I hung out, and then Yeah, that's basically that story. And then it took me like an hour to find you guys.
Yeah, and then you found us in the gardens having a good time.
Yeah.
Now, other highlights from yesterday include walking by Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. So
Yeah.
another celebrity sighting.
Well, this is kind of one of the cool things about this Coachella experiences that we're having is that Max has been awesome enough and Ash to hook us up with these like wicked artist passes. So we literally get to go wherever the celebrities or the people performing are. So if like we're back in this kind of like artist village and Leonardo DiCaprio walks by, that's kind of just where they hang out. It's like the most VIP you can get.
It's very cool. Actually, the band playing after us on our stage yesterday was this band called Banks and Steels, which is RZA from Wu-Tang Clan and Paul Banks from Interpol. And they were just hanging out in our dressing room together. I was like, shit, that's fucking RZA from
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan. So that was very cool.
So we're coming into the area. There's like a where you go, and it's kind of like a thin walking way. I'm going to try and describe it for you. And then, so you walk into the artist area, and then people walk out, but they're kind of thin lines. But when you're walking through, it's kind of in a tented area. And I've got my head down, like I'm looking at my phone. We're all kind of walking single file. And then there's kind of like a little murmur, and Max is like a couple people up, and he like looks back with like a really like big smile. And I look up, he's like, it's Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. And then I'm like, oh man, but I missed it because you keep it moving in the line. And then I pass the message back to Shane.
Yeah, I was in the sunken place, man. So I didn't see anything. But Max is always, you see everybody.
Yeah, you got your head on a swivel.
Yeah, I'm a little better than you guys, for sure.
Yeah.
And then we ended up meeting up with the guys to come back to the house because we didn't want to stick around for Gaga. But in a huge, surprising turn of events, Julian, one of the Champagne Boys, who notoriously talks about how much he hates live music, actually, the 3 things he hates the most on Friday night that he announced were live music, roses, we were in the Rose Garden, and the Arkells. He ended up staying at the festival wearing his
tank top.
Can you describe the shirt?
So Julian has this infamous
Yeah.
shirt that he always wears. It's like this weird brown cut off sleeves. I don't know where he got it. It's like a Valley Village or something. A monkey like dancing, and it says "Party Dude." So he was telling a story about how he was like walking through the festival with his party dude, and there was another guy with a shirt that said,
What did it say? What? It said beefcake.
Yeah. With a shirt that said beefcake, and he said he walked by and he saw the guy with the beefcake thing, and then the beefcake guy saw Julie with the party dude. The dude goes, "Party dude," and Julie goes, "Beefcake," and they high-fived and kept it moving. So anyway, that was when Julian was still of his own sound mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you want to take it from here?
Well, and then he just came back, sitting on this very couch area.
It was a bit of a roast when he came back.
Yeah, well, he was making fun of me, basically.
Well, he was in party dude mode.
So we put Julian to bed. Al, my roommate, who's down here, who was kind of hanging out by the pool the whole day, he was in bed by like 11 o'clock. So 2 guys passed out. The rest of us, instead of going back into Coachella for Lady Gaga, ventured into Palm Springs. We got some terrible service at a tiki bar. And then we went to the Ace Hotel, which ended up being very cool.
Very
as
cool. Very fun.
as its reputation.
Well, what's been fun is that, I mean, it might seem like we're just partying and all that stuff, but we've actually been busting it. Like, yesterday was a full work day where we were running around doing interviews with Blossoms, local natives, a guy that actually books Coachella. named
Bishop
Elliot,
Briggs as well.
Bishop Briggs. And we were just kind of like gearing running through. And Max also played Coachella yesterday. So
Yeah.
it's like there was a
Very
lot
busy
going
day.
on where I never really took in the festival. Like, I felt like we were in like a media trailer or we were running over here.
I was even asking some questions, too.
You were jumping in on it. We'll
Well,
talk
a
about that on the
question.
episode. Yeah.
Oh,
You-
can we not talk about it now?
No, we can, but we'll talk about it in the actual episode.
Okay.
So it was nice to get back here and actually kind of crack a beer and like unwind. But the funny thing is everybody else that's here is actually here to party. Like, they are not working.
Yeah.
And so they literally have like 8 hours of drinking, including our wonderful camera dude right now. Unzi, you want to turn that on yourself for a second?
Most handsome cameraman in show business.
And now we're making him sit out this side on a potential hangover day. But yeah, anything else been going on before we wrap this up?
Are we missing anything else that was entertaining? Oh, yeah. Okay, this is a good way to wrap
All right,
this
this is
up.
how we're going to finally wrap it up. Take the lead.
Well, we had this beautiful, like, Palm Springs villa that that sleeps everybody really comfortable. There's
a
pool,
TV outside there.
It's really incredible. But what we didn't really know, or we didn't read the fine print, is that there are very strict rules for renters in this community, because I guess they have bad experience with Coachella party animals like ourselves ruining it for the people that actually live here. So we were doing a photo shoot for Top Man on one of the couches inside, and this guy bombards into the house. He goes, I'm part of the concierge service. And I'm thinking, that's pretty cool. What's he going to get for us?
I'll take a towel.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, kind of some toothpaste or something.
Some toothpaste.
I don't know. But he then just went on. He proceeded to basically scold us in advance for the next half an hour and tell us all this stuff we couldn't do. So, Shane, what were the things that he said we couldn't do?
We're not allowed to talk after 10 o'clock out here. There's absolutely zero music out here.
You can't
Any
even
time
during
of
the
the day.
You're not allowed to operate the TV that's out here. You're not supposed to even turn it on. There's no cannonballs, which was a specific question I asked, and he just went, I go, can we do cannonballs? No.
Well, the funny thing was, so he's like laying down the law, and we're sitting on this couch. We're in the middle of this photo shoot or whatever, and he's like, "You can't do this, you can't do that." And then I just see out of like the corner of my eye, Shane like pulls his phone out and then just starts filming the guy talking. I'm like, "Oh man!" I'm like, "I guarantee that's against the rules."
And it made it actually to the Insta
Our
story.
Insta story.
And as he was telling us the rules, the caption just read, "Fuck this guy." Oh, sorry.
Well, and he was telling us like horror stories, like you wouldn't believe it. He's like, 2 weeks ago there was a bachelorette party. They were drinking in the pool at 2 a.m.
I said, "What a nightmare!"
Yeah. It's like we're chugging hot dogs till 5 a.m. out here.
Yeah, but the thing is, he said there's literally no warning. If you break the rules,
If you get a
out.
noise complaint, you're booted. You don't lose your deposit or anything like that. It's like you're out in the street.
Yeah, so I guess if there's one thing we can offer to anyone who's thinking about coming to Palm Springs is read the fine print.
Don't. All right, so yeah, that's basically our Coachella experience in a nutshell. We're going to be talking about it a lot more on an upcoming episode of the pod. We're going to hear all the interviews, sort of a more focused recap, and obviously what's still going on tonight because we got a full night. We're going to go see Kendrick
Lamar and Lord. And we also had an Instagram star in this very place.
Shane did an interview with Melissa Merck, which will probably go up around the same time as this.
And Shane's only interviewed on his own 2 people.
Yeah. What
Melissa
do you
Merck.
think was better, this one or the other one?
The other one who was the Sailor Jerry's guy.
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron. You definitely have a style. It's pretty consistent.
All right, so you can pop over and watch that. It will be up on the YouTube page. Thanks so much for watching this, or if you're listening to it on iTunes or SoundCloud or Google Play. Obviously, we appreciate it as always. We want to thank Top Man for you've gotten like 10 compliments on that shirt.
Yeah, I've been wearing it for 2.5 days.
Is it coming off anytime soon?
It better. It smells pretty bad.
All right, thanks so much for watching or listening. We'll see you next week if we don't die this weekend.
Oh, that's pro.
Oh,
Look at that.
fancy move.